Hey everybody, welcome to Staffing Monthly, which is the industry's premier digital magazine where we bring you thought leadership and insights in the areas of recruiting, sales, marketing, and leadership. And this month we are focusing on sales because we need to finish the year strong. We need to build momentum going into 25, which I believe is going to actually be an uptick year for the industry. And we are gearing up for the Staffing Sales Summit coming back to Orlando in February. If you've not gotten your tickets yet, go do that. And on the topic of the Staffing Sales Summit, today I have a special guest for you. This is one of the most highest rated sessions from the summit in 2024. This is Robert Reid from Butler Street, who taught us active listening in probably the most fun way he could, or anyone could. And there were three key things that he shared in this session that have actually personally impacted my life in an amazing way, personally and professionally. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring Robert Reid back today and also to the summit. So Robert, thank you so much for being back here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to get the invite again. Had a blast last year. Looking forward to this one as well.
Absolutely, man. And you're talking about something that I believe is the number one skill that salespeople need to have. If there's one thing that they can focus on improving, you're going to be delivering it. And before I set that up, I want to let the audience know that buyers today have a higher level of reluctance. They have trust issues with staffing agencies, and they're starting to judge us on the quality of the questions that we ask. And that leads us into that number one skill that salespeople really need to be focusing on. And how do they ask the right questions? And Robert, I want to pose it over to you, man. What are you seeing salespeople do, and what should they be doing better?
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting. This is a topic that I've been thinking about a lot, and I'm really excited that I now have a forum where I can do this talk. So I've been developing it because I do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of training every year, a lot of it focused on sales. And I think just in my interaction with sales professionals, there's a big gap in just asking great questions. In the eyes of the customer, you are defined by the quality of questions that you ask. And so that for me was like, this is something that I need to prepare. This is something that I really need to bring to the industry, because if we can get people asking better questions, then to your point, customers are going to trust our salespeople more. They're going to see them as more of that collaborative, strategic thought partner. And so, yeah, see that as a big area of opportunity. Let's ask better questions.
So what's wrong with the questions we're asking now? I mean, salespeople they're natural people, they're charismatic, they like talking to people. So like, why are we struggling? What's wrong with the questions we're asking today?
Yeah, I think there's a number of different things going on. I think one is that we've gotten trapped in some of the stock questions that we ask. Do you use staffing? I hear it over and over and over again. And guess what? Your prospects know exactly what to do when they get that question, which is, oh, you're a salesperson from some sort of temp agency. Let me give you the number to the voicemail box. Nobody checks. So there's nothing unique about do you use staffing? There's nothing special about asking that question. So I think we got to break out of that habit of just asking those really stock questions. The second thing that I'm thinking, or that I'm seeing rather, is that a lot of these questions are just very surface level. They're generic. They're too general. And when we think about asking great questions, I want that customer to say, wow, that's actually a really great question. I myself hadn't even thought about it in that way. So let's get rid of the stock questions we use. Let's ask some deeper questions that really get our customers thinking. And then a very simple one, please ask more open-ended questions. We put so much pressure on ourselves when we ask close-ended questions because now we're the one driving the conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you actually said something that I think is really interesting. You said there's nothing unique about that question of do you use staffing agencies? And it, like, I have to wonder, do you see as an opportunity for a sales rep to actually present their unique value proposition when they're asking questions and actually kind of align with the values that their agency can bring to the client? You think that's an opportunity that's being missed?
I think you got to earn it. I think Salespeople sometimes are good at asking one question and they're like, cool, let me immediately start selling our services. I do think we rush to get to that finish line being that I want to talk about my company too quickly. Pump the brakes. When I say you got to earn the right to start talking about what you can do, you earn that right by proving to the customer that you have a genuine interest in what's going on in their operation, truly uncovering their challenges. So it's the number of questions, it's the types of questions, it's the potency of the questions that leads that customer to be more receptive to, now let me share my value proposition and what we can do. And I think we jump to that value prop too quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Premature presentation is a real problem in this industry, and we get happy ears, and we're like, "Oh, let me tell you." As soon as we hear any iota of a challenge, without even fleshing it out and even understanding if it's a real challenge, we say, "Hey, we can solve that problem." Like that's their opening, and they try to get in. And one of the common ones I'm seeing, and I'd love to hear if you're seeing this too, is when a prospect is like, "Yeah, we have high turnover." And the salesperson's like, I can solve that problem for you. Not even realizing that maybe high turnover is literally just an acceptable byproduct of their business choice. Maybe they're okay with the high turnover, but what they really need is like shorter vacancy times. So I don't know. Do you see stuff like that too, where people just see that first opening and they jump in too soon without really understanding what they're getting into?
Yeah, I think salespeople see like their main objective is to start pitching, or there is some discomfort in talking to a customer, and they want to step into the realm that they're most comfortable with, which is talking about themselves. When you say to a customer, okay, thanks for sharing that you're dealing with turnover, what does that mean to you? How's that impacting the rest of the team? How's that impacting your customers? How's that impacting productivity? Those are questions that now force that salesperson to go down a path that they don't know what the twists and turns of that path are going to be. And this is where this improv component comes in. And so much of what I do is you got to have that courage to say, let's go down that path. And I don't even know where it's going to go, but I'm going to listen to you. And I'm going to ask follow-up questions. And together, we're really going to figure out what's going on here. So that's typically what I see.
I love that, man. And for the people that are going to be live in Margaritaville and Orlando at the summit, what do you think are the biggest takeaway or takeaways they're going to get out of attending your session?
I think when it comes to takeaways, my hope is that I bring them to a realization that they have bad habits. I think the first step of changing your habits is to recognize, oh boy, I have bad habits. So, but by simply sharing examples and challenging people and getting them to think about what's your current process, I want them to say, uh-oh, I could be doing better. I think another thing that's really important, anytime I do a speech or a workshop or any kind of training, I want people to have actionable takeaways that they can apply in their job immediately. Anybody who joined the session last year, you even referenced your takeaways. That's what I want. I want people to have behaviors that they can change and actionable things that can lead to that behavior change. So I think that's what people will get out of this.
I love it, man. And the people that attended last year, the feedback we got off your session, it felt like it was worth the price of admission alone. And I'm sure that they're going to be in for a real treat this year as well. So glad to have you back, Robert. Man, looking forward to seeing you again in Orlando. And we will get this out to the masses and let them know that they're going to be learning some amazing things about how to ask better and more of the right questions to win more business in 25.
Love it. I'm thrilled to be a part of this event again. So thanks for the invite.